Short Williams says that this business is 50% dream and 50% crusade. And at the end of the day, being here in this amazing resort and getting all these awards and accolades, it's pretty easy to kind of lose sight of why we do this and just really how impactful what we do is for families. I have a personal story that I think really everyone needs to hear, and I'm here to share it with you guys. My beautiful fiance, Natalie, and I have been in this business now just about 2 years, and prior to this, I was working 3 jobs, and I was working just over 100 hours a week to make what I would consider back then was a decent income. And I'm going to be honest, I was looking for a way out. I was sick of my life being controlled by my bosses, having to trade that time for money, and I was praying for something that I could come across, that I could plant my flag and really build a legacy for my family. And that's when I stumbled into Primerica. Now, when I was first just getting started, I didn't really know much about what this thing was, as I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate. I knew it was a good opportunity to make money and learn about money, but I really just didn't know how bad people really needed us. You see, our first field training appointment was with Natalie, my field trainer, John Cooper, who you guys will hear from later today, and it was with her parents. And from the outside looking in, someone like myself who really didn't understand life insurance very well would have thought that they were all set. My father-in-law, Mike, had 3 policies on himself. He had a policy on his wife and a policy on each one of his 4 kids. I remember thinking to myself, why the heck does someone need 3 life insurance policies? And if he already has 3, he's probably not going to get a 4th, so we're definitely not closing anything today. And I remember Natalie thinking that she was so nervous about, he doesn't have any extra money, he's really not going to be interested, or he's not going to be able to afford an extra policy. But we decided to go forward with the appointment. I knew it would be a great learning experience, and he was really excited about kind of being there to support us. So we went through and we sat on the appointment. Now, we get on the kitchen table, we sit down, and we dust off the policies that he's had in his safe for almost 25 years now, and we began to have a conversation, and very quickly we realized that these policies were not explained at all. See, our father-in-law, Mike, really didn't have any understanding of what he had. One of them was a very minimal group policy that he had through the union. The second one was a $13,000 whole life policy that was on the verge of lapsing because he took a loan out against it 10 years prior. And the third was a $100,000 accidental death and dismemberment policy, which essentially required him to die on some form of transportation. And as our trainer started explaining these things, we were all really taken back by it. He'd had these things for 24 years. Thank God, nothing had happened because, obviously very little to nothing would have paid out in a situation like that. Now, luckily for us, he was young enough and healthy enough for us to get him something set up through us, and we actually were able to save him some money and get him additional coverage, and we were excited about that. That was our first training appointment. We're like, man, that was flawless. That's exactly how you want things to go. And we put the policy into force, and time went on. About 8 months later, on April 28th, 2021, Natalie and I were running an op night for our team, and my phone starts blowing up. I stepped aside, answered the call, and I hear a frantic voice saying that something has happened. Big Mike had fallen in the driveway, he had hit his head, and he had passed away tragically. Mike's passing shook all of us, but never for one moment did I doubt that Primerica wouldn't deliver for my family. And if it were not for Primerica in this business, we would not have been able to give him the proper burial that he deserved, and my mother-in-law would be in a totally different financial situation that she's in right now. Never in a million years would I have anticipated that my first life close would also be on my first death claim. And nor did I ever think that somebody so close to me would also be that person. But this experience, guys, it has lit a fire underneath me. And I truly feel that God has put me here to make sure that families are going to get the help and guidance that they deserve, because we do what's right 100% of the time.